Hello all, welcome to another session in this course. As part of this session, I'm going to cover the next topic under flow control statements, that is transfer statements. The last category of the flow control statements are transfer statements. In the previous session, I covered iterative or looping flow control statements for you. Okay, these were the things I covered. Okay, let me just show you the notes of the previous session to show you what exactly I have covered in the previous session. So just see here what exactly I have covered. I have covered this iterative statements, which are also called as looping statements or loop statements. Okay. And these are the ones. Okay. For loop, while loop, do while loop, for in loop, for off loop. In this all this type of loops I already only covered the first three types. Last two I told you that I'll be covering this one with after covering the object kind of concepts, and I'll be covering for off with the iterable items like arrays and all those stuff. Okay, so for now in the last session I covered only these three loops, and in the upcoming sessions I'm going to cover the remaining type of loops. Okay, so these are all the things, guys. Okay, for loop, while loop, then we have this do while loop, for in loop, and for off loop I'll be covering later. So out of all these five loops, I covered the first three loops. Last two loops I'll be covering later. So that happened in the previous session. Now coming to the current session, okay, I'm going to cover the transfer statements for you. Okay, I'm going to cover the transfer statements for you. Let me also open the notes for the transfer statements here. Majorly, there are four transfer statements. In the JavaScript, there are majorly four transfer statements. One is break, second one is continue, third one is return, and fourth one is throw. Okay, you can clearly see here the most of the here are the most common transfer statements in JavaScript: break, continue, return, and throw. Break, continue, return, and throw. Transfer statements. Okay, transfer statements. Break. Next one is continue. Break, continue. Third one is return. Third one is return. Fourth one is throw. Fourth one is throw. Break, continue, return, and throw. These are the major transfer statements we have in JavaScript language. Okay. So out of these four items in this session, I'll be covering only the first two items. Okay. Return I need to cover in the upcoming sessions, guys. At this point of time, I cannot cover return because return need to be explained along with the functions kind of topic, which will be covered later. So return will be postponed. The explanation or practical demonstration of the return will be done in the upcoming sessions. And coming to the throw also, throw is somewhat related to the exception handling and functions and all those stuff. Okay, kind of stuff, guys. So I cannot explain this throw right now. Okay, so these two items will be covered in the upcoming sessions. But in this session, I'm going to cover two transfer statements, that is break and continue, one by one. So let's get started with break. Okay, break transfer statement. And what exactly are these transfer statements? If you remember, guys, I told you, right? Transfer statements are one of the category of the statements under the flow control statements. And assume that this box is a JavaScript file, and in that we have multiple lines of code like this. Okay, in this we have multiple lines of code like this, for example. Okay, in the JavaScript file we have this multiple lines of code available. Now, when I run this code, the the execution of this code may happen something like this, guys. Okay, the execution of the code may happen something like this. The execution may start here. From here, it may directly jump here. Okay. From here, it may go here. From here, it may go here. From here, it may come here. May go here. It may come down. It may go here. Okay, like this, guys. Okay, jumping. Okay, jumping like a monkey. Okay. So if a monkey is jumping on a tree from one branch to another branch, the same way, if you want the Execution also to jump from one line of the code to another line of the code, upward and downward. Okay, that is also possible with the help of the flow control statements and the category of statements which actually make this kind of scenario possible where jumping from one line of the code to another line of the code, like monkeys jumping on a tree from one branch of the tree to another branch, zigzag way. Okay, that is possible with the transfer statements. Okay, which category of statements under the flow control statement this kind of situation is possible? Transfer statements. And these are the major. There are many other transfer statements, guys. Majorly, if you have to discuss or learn about the transfer statements, these are the major ones. Okay, break, continue, return, throw. In this, these two items I'll cover now, and the remaining two items I'll cover later. Return and throw I'll cover later. So let's get started with break. Let's get started with break. Remember, guys, where we have used break in the previous session. Okay, in one of the previous sessions, when I have explained about this conditional or selection statements, there was another one of the conditional or selection statement known as switch case. Okay, whenever a particular case of the switch case matches and we go inside the case, to come out of the switch case, we have used a break statement already. Okay, I've already explained how to use a break statement and what will happen if you don't use a break statement in the switch case. I already have covered this break statement, which will break the switch case and come out. Okay. Whenever this break statement under the switch case encounters, the switch case will be broken and will be coming out of the switch case. Apart from this switch case, we can also use break statement in loops. Okay, break statement can be used in switch case, which I already have demonstrated in the previous sessions. Whereas we can also use this break statement in the loops like for loop, while loop, do while loop, for in loop, for off loop, all the type of the loops you can use break statement. Okay, so what will happen if you use the break statement inside the loops? Whenever this break statement is encountered, will come out of the loop. Okay, like whenever the break statement got encountered in the switch case, we came out of the switch case completely outside, right? Similarly, whenever the break statement is encountered or executed inside the loop, it will take you out of the loop. Simple, it will take you out of the loop. So for example, I'll demonstrate how to use a break statement in one of the loops, that is for loop. So for that, I'll launch the Visual Studio Code, guys. Okay. So in this editor, I'm going to demonstrate how to use a break statement. Okay. So one thing, let's close all this stuff. Let me drag it here and let me delete this file. It's not required anymore. So let's go here and create a new file, and I'll just write it out as break demo dot. Yes, here I'll be writing the code for, for let I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10, or 5 other, I less than or equal to 5, then I plus plus. Okay, like this I'm writing the code. Okay, for let I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 5, I plus plus, and in this, okay, in this I'll be writing break, put a semicolon. You see, if I write the code like this, and here I'll write break and I'll just print the value of I here. Okay, I would like to print the value of I, and break statement is there. I'm trying to print the value of the I. If I run this code, what will be the output, guys? If I run this code, what will be the output? Let's understand. First, this section, the value of I will be 1. I will be created, variable I will be created, and it will be initialized with the value 1. I is 1 now. Once the initialization is done, the control should go to the next one, that is condition, that is 1 less than or equal to 5. 1 less than or equal to 5, which is also true. This is also true. I is 1, then 1 less than or equal to 5 is true. We'll go inside the loop. Here break statement will be encountered, okay, and will completely come out of the loop. That's it, guys. That's the end of the story. Nothing will be printed in the output console. You see, node break demo.js. If I say, you see, nothing got printed because directly break statement is there in the loop. Since the first condition itself, okay, when I is 1, the first condition itself is satisfied, we'll went into the loop and break statement has taken you out of the loop. Okay, it didn't print 1 to 5. Is 1 to 5 got printed? If console.log got executed, 1 to 5 would have been printed, but because of the break statement, nothing got printed. If I remove the break statement from here, the same code will print 1 to 5. You see, 1 to 5 got printed. But if I put the break statement, nothing will be printed. Okay, if I put the break statement, nothing got printed. You see, nothing got printed. That's the problem. Okay, that's the problem. Now, what I will do here, instead of directly providing the break statement here, I'll write a condition. If I is Okay, triple equal to 3 or double equal to 3 or triple equal to 3, nothing matters. Okay, starting of the if block, and inside that if I write the break statement, what will be printed? Like if I write the code, what will happen in this case? What will be the output? If this is a situation, what will be the output, guys? First, I will be 1. I will be created and I will be 1. 1 less than or equal to 5, 5 which is true. Okay. Initially, I is 1. 1 less than or equal to 5 which is true. 1 is less than or equal to 5 which is true. We'll go inside the for loop. Then 1 equal to 3 is false. It will not go inside the if block. So break statement will not be executed in the first iteration. And here console.log I1 will be printed here. Okay. Because of this, 1 will be printed. Because of this, 1 will be printed. Next, we'll go to the end of this loop and I plus plus will happen. I will become 2. 2 less than or equal to 5, which is also true. 2 less than or equal to 5, which is also true. Go inside the for loop. 2 equal to 3 is false. This is skipped. This will get skipped. Break statement will not get executed because 2 is not equal to 3. Then here console.log of I means the current value of I is 2. 2 will be printed. End of the loop. I plus plus I will become 3. 3 less than or equal to 5, which is true. 3 less than or equal to 5 is true. We'll go inside the loop. 3 equal to 3 is, this time it is also true. If it is true, we'll go inside the if block and for the first time break statement will get executed and will come out of the for loop. Only 1 and 2 will be printed, remaining will not be printed because break statement has taken you completely out of the for loop when I became 3 and this statement from here we came out. Okay, that's the reason only 1 and 2 will be printed. You see, only 1 and 2 will be printed. In the third iteration, this condition became true and the break statement got executed. The moment the break statement got executed, we came out of the loop. So this is what is a break case. Okay, this is what is a break. Okay, fine. So in the third iteration, break statement got executed and we came out of the loop and from there nothing got executed anymore. Okay, we directly came out of the for loop has been broken. Okay, after 2 iterations, the third iteration, the for loop got broken. So only 1 and 2 got printed here. Fine. This is what is all about the break statement, guys. Break statement will break the loop and take you outside of the loop whenever it is executed in the loops. Okay. In any particular loop, if the break statement gets executed, it may be while loop or do while loop or for loop, break statement will there itself, once it gets executed, it will directly take you out of the loop. That's what is the concept of the break statement. Okay. Now the next one is next statement we have is a continue statement, guys. Apart from the break statement, we also have a continue statement, guys. Okay. So here, in place of the break, I'll write continue. The same logic. In place of the break, I'm writing the continue. What will happen? The continue will cancel the current iteration. The difference between break and continue you have to understand, guys. Okay. Break, break, this side continue. What is the difference between the break and continue? What is the difference between these two items? Break when used inside this loops or switch case. Okay. Will, okay, take you out of the loops by cancelling all the pending iterations. Okay. All the iterations otherwise. Okay. Once encountered, break will take you out of the loops. Break will stop the loop execution and take you out of the loop by calling all the iterations. Okay. By cancelling, guys. By cancelling. This is not calling. This is cancelling. Okay. Break will break when executed inside a loop will take you out of the loop by cancelling all the iterations. Okay. Okay. By cancelling all the iterations, break. What about continue? Continue when executed inside a loop will not cancel all the iterations or will not take you out of the loop. Rather, continue when executed inside a loop will cancel only the current running iteration. Only current running iteration will be cancelled. Okay. And next iterations will be continued. Next loop iterations will be continued, guys. Okay. That's what is continue. If you are using continue in place of the break, what will happen? Let me tell you. Here initially I is 1. I will be created and the value of I is 1. Then we'll go to this condition. 1 less than or equal to 5, which is true. If it is true, we'll go inside this loop. If it is true, we'll go inside this loop, guys. And here, I have to say, here, I value is 1, right? 1 equal to 3 is false. This will be skipped because the condition is false means this code will not be executed, and we'll go here console.log, 1 will be printed. Okay, here 1 will be printed. We'll come to the end of the loop, and here I plus plus I will become 2. 2 less than or equal to 5, which is true. Again, we'll go inside the loop. 2 equal to 3 is false. This block will be skipped because the condition is resulting in false. Then console.log of I means 2 will be printed. Now end of the loop, and I plus plus I will become 3, guys. 3 less than or equal to 5, which is true again. 3 less than or equal to 5 is true again. If it is true, to go inside this loop, and 3 equal to 3. Okay, this condition is for the first time true. So we'll go inside this if condition block, if block, and continue statement will get executed. What the continue statement will do, whenever it is encountered, it will cancel the current iteration. From here, the current iteration code, that is if it is got executed from here to here, the current iteration of this particular selected items will be ignored, and directly will go to I++. Without running this particular code after the continue statement, directly will go to I++ because continue will cancel the current iteration. So I will become 4. Okay. So here 1, 2 got printed, but 3 didn't get printed because it has cancelled the current iteration. So 3 didn't get printed here. Then I became 4. 4 less than or equal to 5 is 2. Will go inside the loop, and 4 equal to 3 is false. This code will be skipped, it will not be executed. So console.log 4 will be printed. After 1 to 4 got printed, third iteration got cancelled. Okay, because of the 3 didn't get printed. Okay, then I will become 5, which is true. This is false. Continue statement will not be executed. I value 5 will be printed. End of the loop. 6, which is false here. This condition 6 less than or equal to 5 is false, will directly come out of the for loop now. Only 1, 2, 4, 5 got printed. 3 has not been printed because it has cancelled the current iteration. Hope guys you are clear the difference between break and continue statement. If I put break here, when the condition is satisfied, directly it will take you out of the loop. All the iterations will be cancelled. Whereas in case of continue, only the current iteration will be cancelled and next iteration will be continued. Okay. So this is what this is what are the transfer statements we have in JavaScript, guys. Okay. So let me show you the notes for the last time. Transfer statements are used to control the flow of they are one category of the flow control statements in Java, guys. Okay, using this you can do all this stuff. Okay, you can do exit a loop early, skip to the next iteration using the break and continue. These two things are possible. These two things I'll be explaining later because I need to explain return and throw later. Okay, I only covered out of the 4 transfer statements we have. I only covered break and continue. Return and throw I'll be covering later, guys. Okay, when the time comes, I'll cover about the return and throw. So these two items are about this return and throw. So I'm not explaining about them. So just scroll down here how to use a break statement and all using the similar logic what that I have written. Continue statement how to use. Return statement I didn't cover, and throw statement I didn't cover. So only break and continue. You can use break and continue with you can use break with for loop, while loop, do while loop, other loops, and switch case. Whereas continue statement only should be used with loops. Okay, not with the switch case. Only with the loops you can use. Continue statement will skip the current iteration, whereas break and continue with the next iteration. Whereas break statement will exit when it gets encountered by cancelling all the iterations. Okay, fine. Wherever it got encountered, from there all the iterations will be cancelled. But continue will only cancel the current iteration, and next iteration will be continued. Fine. So hope guys with this okay, with this we are done with the transfer statements in JavaScript. Okay, so we are done with the flow control statements in JavaScript, guys. That is in the previous sessions I covered conditional or selection statements, iterative or looping statements, and now in this session I covered the transfer statements. In the next session I'm going to cover about the comments. Till then, see you. Bye bye.